Hello, everyone. Just a quick overview of what you're going to be doing today and tomorrow. First of all, I threw in a interesting video here about Lake Erie and the ice shove that happened yesterday from all the wind that happened. So enjoy the video. Today's lesson, though, is an overview of something that you should be familiar with, which are all the different factors that affect climate. Since we're talking about the atmosphere over the next day or two and the interactions it has with the other spheres. So go through the slideshow. To make it easy, I also included a fill in the blank note. I realized that the diagram, you're probably going to want to print this off um, because you won't be able to fill in the diagram digitally. You'll have to do it by hand. So a quick overview of all the basics that you can do by filling in the blank note. And then the activity is looking at um, El Nino. And El Nino is this really interesting process that is on well, I consider it a short-term cycle because in geology, things that typically happen over millions of years, but this is on a much shorter scale than that. That happens in our southern hemisphere, but it affects us here in Niagara also. When you click on it, it'll ask you to open it in a new browser, and when you open it up, it should ask you to make a copy. So when you make the copy, now you can edit it. If you're not signed in, I don't think it'll let you edit it, but it'll force you to to uh, to sign in anyway. So once you've done that, I've got a slideshow that's been made, but what you're going to do is simply replace the comments here with the actual research that you've done. So you're going to find a map showing whereabouts El Nino is occurring and place that in here and give a general description using geographic terminology of the general location of this process. Tell me what happens on a normal year. So explain what's going on, and in particular, I would use the Galapagos area as a sort of a case example. It's really affected by the El Nino situation. So tell me what happens in the normal situation there. There's a diagram of what's actually happening. By the way, don't use that map, find your own. And then tell me how things dramatically change when El Nino kicks in. So you're going to be talking about the prevailing winds, its connection to oceans, and then finally its impact. So we know that human activity is changing the El Nino. You can talk about the temporal changes. So is it happening more often or less often? Is the intensity of El Nino stronger or weaker? And what sort of impact that has on the environment. Now, this is not expected to be a huge project, and that's why I've given you the slideshow in advance. So I'm looking at content that's going to fill the slide. Don't be adding a whole bunch of extra slides. I don't want you spending forever on this little assignment. I provided a couple of videos here to sort of kickstart your research, so you'll want to take a look at those. In the end, you're going to find at least 4 other sources on this topic. Make sure that you cite them properly using Citation Machine. When you click on this, it'll take you there, and it'll show you how to properly cite your resources. Once you've done that, you'll go back and throw it into the Dropbox. That's going to take you to well, I've given you to Sunday, I think, to complete this. All right. Hope that explains things. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.